So, Jade, thank you very much for taking the time to join this call. I know, see, we really, right? I mean, we the analogy that I would like to share is, we build race cars, but we don't get to race them, right? You guys race them. So, that's how we look at these systems and we build them, and we don't use them on a day in day out basis, and you guys use them. So that's why it's always exciting for me to hear, what you guys think, right? How is it, working out, and how is it, really solving your problem, right? That's very important for us, right? That's why we are having this session. So, if you could please start with, introducing yourself, your role, your day-to-day responsibilities, and then talk about your organization, the products that you guys ship, right? We can get started there.
Okay, so my name is Jade. I'm with Wholesale Building Products, and we're a wholesaler of building materials. We're based in South Florida and North Florida, so we have two locations.
Okay.
I do a little bit of everything: operation, logistics, marketing, sales, and I do a lot of system implementation. So
Okay.
I work with Wholesale and a couple other of our sister companies.
Okay.
I'm pretty tech savvy, so whenever there's a new technological thing we're putting in, I usually get involved because then I can teach. Like I learn it quick, and then I can teach others how to use it.
Nice.
We've had LoadProof now for about 10 months. We started in August last year.
Nice. Okay, nice. So, what was the, problem you had before, and, why did you, right? What was the problem you're looking to solve, right?
So we were using pictures already. We were taking them and they were being automatically updated to a Dropbox.
Yep.
And we had different Dropboxes with different phones. So you had to use, like, if you were taking the pictures for trucks that were doing local deliveries, for example, you had to use a specific phone because that one was linked to the correct Dropbox. And it was just kind of a mess to organize. And Dropbox doesn't have a sorting system. You don't have metadata that you can do searches on.
Yeah.
So it was just like there was only a few of us that had access to the Dropboxes.
Yeah.
And whenever we had a team or we wanted to confirm something that had gone out on a truck,
yep.
Like sometimes we had pictures, sometimes we didn't, because oftentimes, since there's one phone that's related to each of the Dropboxes,
yep.
There's trucks in the yard. Well, only one person can be taking pictures at a time.
Yep.
So to not delay the process, then some people would just skip the pictures.
Yeah.
So it was very, very hard to get the kind of the backup that we needed when customers were placing claims, or just sometimes right now I use LoadProof just to double check things just for fun. But we were never doing that before. All the salespeople, when they did want some type of dig into the backup and find out, okay, so what is it that we know we shipped, they had to just go to three of us. And then we had to stop what we were doing, search through Dropboxes, and try to find the correct pictures and go from there.
Yeah. So that obviously was very, very painful, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was better than no pictures at all, obviously, because no pictures are you're blind.
Yeah.
But it was very painful. It was something that we had been trying to solve, and we were kind of trying to look into different options.
Yeah.
And we never came across LoadProof. We actually came across LoadProof visiting a supplier.
Yeah.
Because they were doing it USG in Miami.
Yeah.
And then we saw it. We're like, we want that.
Yeah.
And then we went there, and since now we've been using it, and it's been so much better.
Okay. life is so much better. So that was my next question. How did you find LoadProof to solve that problem? So that's through the USG supplier. So that's great. So how is life now, right? With LoadProof, how is life now? If you could please describe, compared to how it was before, right? You talked about the challenge with getting to the right Dropbox, folder and all that. So how is life now with LoadProof?
It's much better. It's night and day, because now every salesperson can log in on their own. They can do searches based on so many criteria. It even works with the tickets we have in the yard. The guys, there's barcodes on it, so they can just scan the barcode. They don't even have to, some information, they put it manually.
Yep.
And the guys in the yards at first, they were like, oh, that's so much work.
Yep.
But then they realized how much of a backup for them it was, that okay, now you don't have to remember all these things. There's nobody from the office coming, chasing you down in the yard oh, remember 2 weeks ago when this was shipped? No, you don't need to remember. As long as you took your pictures, then, you're covered. We can check what we shipped. We can check what we received. And then there's so many fields, even if sometimes they make typos and stuff, we always find what we're looking for, because there's always something else we can search.
Yeah.
And And then like in the office just now, just like 5 minutes ago, one of the sales person couldn't get into his LoadProof, and he's like, can you look? And he just found out that we can email the links, because we
Oh,
taught
he didn't
people
know
how
that?
it works.
Oh, okay. Oh, man.
I forgot, but he was like, oh, you can just send them the link with the pictures, and then the customers has. I'm like, send them the link with the picture. So it's been working really well, and it's saved us money already. Like every time we've used so many times, like, no, this is what we did. And for so many things, like we've used it for receiving, shipping, staging, and then we use it for proof of deliveries as well.
So looks like you guys are a lot more mobile, there in your organization. And I just want to share with you one more thing. There is a app called LoadProof Viewer. So, today, right, you have to go to your computer and then search for the photos from your computer, right? And now, there is also another app available with which you can search the photos and find them right from your mobile device. Yeah.
I didn't know about that. All right. Assuming it's part of it, so I can just download it and start using
it. Correct. You can download it and start using it. Let me know if you're not able to use it. We are giving it away for free for all our current customers right now. It's called.
I'm gonna write it down, because I know there's a lot of guys like the yard manager. They sometimes want to look up stuff, but they never sit at their desk.
Correct. Exactly. That's where this is very helpful. You can, it's available both in iOS and Android. It's called LoadProof Viewer, right? You can, if you want to go ahead and find it in your phone now, you can do that too. It's called.
My phone's called, so I'll look it up after.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So basically, it's called LoadProof Viewer. And you can, download it, and then you can log in with your user ID and password. Exactly how you would do it in the browser, you would do it the same way. And you can, search for the photos, all the things that you would do. Obviously you cannot do the setup, but you can view, everything, the loads and things like that right from there, right?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'll download it, and I'll tell the other guy, like I'll get it on other people's phones too. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And let us know if you run into any difficulties. Our technical support team can, set it up for you and make sure you guys are all set, right? And how many users you guys have in your both facilities?
So we probably have, for the mobile app, like the users that take pictures, we probably have close to 20.
Okay.
And what we ended up doing, instead of setting everybody up with a separate account to view the pictures, we just did like a general account.
Okay.
And then kind of everybody logs in with the same account to see the pictures.
Okay.
It's an account, very little permissions except seeing pictures.
Yeah, that's fine.
The login and password, and we were like, you can log in, here's the link, here's the login and password. We gave everybody a little tutorial of what you could find on there.
Okay.
But we didn't create everybody in it that just needs to view the pictures. We didn't create them all an account.
Okay. And but the people that are uploading photos, they have individual accounts, right?
They have individual accounts. And and they can select in the drop down also, like, well, we know who took the picture, but they can select like if the supervisor is taking pictures because he's checking the rack, well, he can select who loaded it from the drop down list. But no, they all have. And then some of them, we got them phones that are just connected to we already had some laying around, and then we got a couple more that they would have to use their personal phones for that and stuff. So they all have, everybody who's taking pictures have their own account.
Great. Yeah, that's very important, because you want to hold them accountable, right, for taking good photos.
Exactly.
And they're
want
probably
to know who took that picture.
Correct. Exactly.
And that was something else that was a problem before, like when we had just the one phone, and then you never know who took it. They're always gonna say, "Oh, but I didn't do that one. That one wasn't me."
Correct.
So now we don't have a problem anymore, because everybody has their phone with their account.
Exactly. So if you could please list all the key benefits that you got after implementing LoadProof, right? What are those?
Visibility, accountability, backup to solve problems, whether we're in the wrong or not, just like the confirmation that, okay, we're giving a credit because clearly we didn't ship what we said we shipped. Or we're not going to give a credit because the customer is wrong and we did deliver. And then also claim for damages, because sometimes we're two-stepping our deliveries. We'll deliver to a freight forwarder, then it gets delivered to an island. So they say it came in damaged. Before, it was hard to say, well, did we damage it or did they damage it?
Okay.
Well, now it's easy to see, like, it was delivered in good conditions. This is the picture of the material on the truck.
Great.
If it got the final destination damaged, then it wasn't our fault.
Exactly. Okay.
So it's a lot of accountability, backup, visibility, and then just having access to what's in the yard, and also like the data that matches with it.
Okay, great. How much, what was the process like if, something went wrong and your customer called and complained? What was the process like when you guys did not have LoadProof? How much time you guys would spend on, going back and looking at the orders, looking at the bill of lading, packing slip, having meetings and things like that?
Sometimes hours.
Yeah.
Like I would scan over multiple days. Like we would start looking into it one day, try to don't find it. And then we have different systems. Like we have different paperwork that gets scanned into another system. It's called UDAM.
Okay.
And that works, our system right now. And so we have that backup for like packing slips and receiving and invoicing and stuff. So we have that. But between looking into that and then looking into the pictures and then, looking through emails, sometimes we could spend hours on it. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'd realize we had very little information and just give up after like 10 minutes and be like, we're not going to find that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes keep digging, and then, we never had an answer the first day. We would just be like, okay, well, I got that. Let me try again tomorrow. And,
Great.
Yeah.
So how is that now? I mean, how much time you guys are spending, in doing all that?
Well, way less, because before it was always the same person. Like it was me and then mostly two other people in the office, Jessica, who you spoke with when we first got LoadProof, and then one other person. And then everything was on our shoulders because we were the only ones that accessed the job box. Not everybody has the permissions to see everything.
Yeah.
Versus now, because everybody has access to LoadProof, every salesperson, when their customers comes up with an issue, they can spend 5-10 minutes looking through LoadProof, finding what they need, sending it to the customer, getting all the backup, and then they send it to Jessica. And then if she needs to process a credit, well, she doesn't need to do any of the digging. She gets one email with all the explanation, with the photos as proof, and it's like, okay, we need to give them a credit because of this and that. That's it. And then she processes the credit. So that's taken a lot of work off her shoulder.
Okay, you guys have streamlined the process.
It's on somebody else's shoulders, but like it's still way easier for each individual ones to just look up the ones they get. They kind of share the load.
Got it. You're able to streamline the process so much better now. That's what I'm hearing. Yeah. Okay, great. So how was your experience? See, there are, when you roll out a new system, right? There is always, the technical challenge, just getting it right and making sure everything is working, Wi-Fi is working, right? All that. That's the first part of the question. The second part of the question is how did the people adapt to it, right? I mean, we are humans. I mean, humans are the worst, in changing ourselves, right? So it takes some time to embrace new. How was that, the first and the second, system, technically rolling out the system and then people adapting to that?
So Hollywood was way easier because we were taking pictures mostly in Hollywood.
Okay.
So nobody in the warehouse in Hollywood complained because except at the beginning, they were like, oh, that's a lot of information to put. But then they realized it wasn't that much more of a hassle.
Yeah.
Because they were already used to taking pictures, but now they didn't have to chase down the correct phone for the type of picture that they needed.
Yep.
To see who got it last and where did it go. And the last person didn't return it to the dock where it was supposed to be. And, so like they didn't have to do that anymore. So the yard in Hollywood, they didn't have any complaints.
Okay.
Like it really, except a few that they were like, I'm not putting that on my own phone. Then we had to find them a phone. Because they never needed to have a company phone or a company device before.
Got it.
Solved pretty easily. And then, so that here, like we didn't have any issues because it was already in the work processes that you load things, you take pictures.
Okay.
And then in the office, I mean, it was a learning curve, but it was mostly for people to remember they could go and check themselves.
Okay.
Because they weren't used to being able to check themselves.
Got it.
So obviously, like some older people, they're not new website. It takes them 4 or 5 tries to remember where they're supposed to click.
Exactly.
And so we had to walk them through it a couple times, and then we had to remind them because they would come to us and be like, "Can you look at the pictures?" And we're like, "No, you can look at the pictures."
Yeah. Okay.
What?
Okay.
You can look at the pictures.
You can look at it yourself. Come on, guys, right now. Okay.
That was just a little bit for them to remember. And even me, like yesterday, I caught myself. I walked through the warehouse looking for something. And then like halfway down the second aisle, I was looking through. I turned around, went back to the office, and I was like, why am I here? First, I need to look at the pictures. Okay. And if I don't find what I'm looking for, then I'll look through the warehouse. But I'm like, no, you're wasting your time.
Okay.
Go back inside.
Look at the
pictures, and then then go outside and see if there's anything else I need to find.
Nice.
So we do that, like, just remembering the information we have available and what we can find, because that's not something that people had readily available. So still now 10 months later, people forget.
It's kind of people are running on their muscle memory, right? That's what is going on. And now they got to stop and realize, man, I got this.
It's like, no, I have an issue. Let me load up LoadProof.
Correct.
And then I remind, other salespeople too, like I was copied on an email chain between a salesperson here in Hollywood and the yard manager in Jacksonville. And the salesperson here said, can you send me pictures of? And I just replied back and I was like, go to LoadProof.
Log in yourself. Yeah. Nice.
Don't ask him to take pictures with his cell phone and text them to you or email them to you. Go to LoadProof.
Yeah. I think these people will like it a lot more because now they can view the photos right from their device as well. I mean, we are. Go ahead. Yeah.
And then in Jacksonville, it was a little bit harder because they didn't take pictures before.
Okay.
So it was harder. Like, we had to go up there a few times, talk with the yard manager, make sure, we went to do checks to make sure that they were taking pictures.
Yeah.
And then see different areas, like different receiving or different shipping areas where the guy had the cell phone in his pocket, but because he never had to take pictures before.
Okay.
We still have a little bit of that, but we're not, it's repeating. Don't forget to take the pictures. Don't forget to take the pictures.
Yeah.
And then we're in Jacksonville, a little bit of a problem because the reception over there is terrible.
Okay.
So the Wi-Fi coverage and the reception, the cell phone reception is terrible, and it's just because of where it is. We've had Verizon in there, we've had AT&T in there, we've had T-Mobile in there.
Yeah.
And they've all given us different types of solutions we can do, and we're slowly investing in solving it as we're remodeling different buildings, and we're doing improvements in our facilities.
Got it.
But it's just like, pretty much it's a cell phone dead zone.
Yeah.
And it's a 20-acre yard.
Okay.
So covering everything with Wi-Fi is
not
really hard.
Correct. That's not. I mean, we have a service called Symmetry. Or you guys can get it yourself too. I mean, there is some service called Symmetry, and we get our data plan from them. And we have customers that ask us for, hey, can you give us tablets with data plan? And we have deployed some tablets with data plan, and we can help you with that. Because usually what happens is the unique thing with this Symmetry is that this runs on a different channel. So this is not on the same channel where we consumer stock and text, but that is on a slightly higher priority channel. So that makes sure they get really good bandwidth. Right.
Oh, because our problem is that, like, you go in certain places in our yard, and no matter what cell phone company you're with, it says there's no service.
Correct. Yeah. That's pretty. I mean, I've seen that many times, and that's why you guys use Park Load, right? You can park the photos and then you can upload. Correct.
Yeah. So they use Park Load, and then in Hollywood, same thing. But Hollywood, they're actually running the cables today.
Okay.
Because we're proving that we're going to all scan guns.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
So we have to have good Wi-Fi connection everywhere.
Correct.
So they're in the process. I know they started sometime this week, but I saw them today, like, run all the cables to be able to cover our entire yard in Hollywood with, we're doing that just in Hollywood to begin with, the scan guns. So,
okay.
So that right now we have guys that have complained. They're like, oh, but because especially here, we have no problem with cell phone reception. So it's all the ones that use the devices that don't have data, that just connect Wi-Fi because they want to use their personal cell phones.
Okay.
So we really put data plans on those phones.
Okay.
Especially that we've known for a while. Obviously, it's a long process to update all of our warehouse and switch our system to scanning.
Yep.
So, but we've known that we were going to update to it. So they do the same thing. They use Park Load, and then when they get back within range, they upload it.
They upload it. Okay, great. Okay, nice.
Yeah, but that was one of the things that, the few implementation is we'll remember to do it. And then, the complaints and the pushback we've had is like, oh, but I have to Park Load it, or I don't have connection. But they work around that.
Yeah.
And then the one here in Hollywood, that's going to get solved because we're getting Wi-Fi coverage everywhere right now.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, eventually that's what happens, right? You got to have all the really good, sophisticated data collection tools to, ensure your inventory accuracy is, typically once you invest in scan gun, scanning technology, barcode scanning, and you have barcodes everywhere, your inventory accuracy could, you can maintain a 99% inventory accuracy. Yeah.
That's exactly what we're aiming for. And I mean, we're investing heavily in a whole new inventory management system that includes a warehouse management system that's based on barcodes and scan guns and everything. So that's really what we're trending towards. Because right now, I mean, our biggest pain points were that we had no visibility on claims. We didn't know which pretty much, I mean, LoadProof solved, I don't know what's the percentage, but most of those issues, especially, I mean, it still happens every once in a while that we're looking for something and, the guys didn't take the best picture of it a picture when it was already wrapped so much that you can't really count what's on that pallet anymore, and they didn't take a picture before wrapping it. But that's something that we addressed as we go, and it's just make sure you take a picture before because we can't see anything on this one. So they're all improving and but everybody's
it's a process. Good. So
nobody's complaining about using it and having it. Everybody's happy about having it.
Got it. That's good. Yeah. I mean, I think looks like your construction industry is a little different. It's more little old school, things people do in the old school way, and it's still in the yard, technically not in a warehouse. Maybe it's building materials, bricks and stuff like that, right? So that's interesting.
It's all lumber, plywood, building materials.
Okay.
So it is, and it's all rough stuff. So it's still old school, and not just us. Our competitors similar. Our suppliers are similar. It's all we're the owner of Wholesale is really trying to improve and make us help improve our operational issues and make sure there's less mistakes in our customer, and we operate efficiently and accurately. So that's pretty much what we're aiming for right now.
Great. And so would you recommend LoadProof for someone like yourself? I mean, running operations, running sales, I mean, taking care of inventory and all that, would you recommend LoadProof?
And I don't know about the other people, but I've talked about it to some of because I go to a lot of conferences and I go to a lot of trade shows and stuff like that. Whenever we have to send somebody to those things, I usually go. And I was just one, it's called AD. It's Affiliated Distributors. So we're a member of the GSM group for Affiliated Distributors in the US. It's a purchasing and we meet twice a year. And one of them, once a year, there's a roundtable with people in your industry that have similar types of businesses, but in different regions in the U.S. It's usually maybe 20 companies per group. Our AD Gypsum group has 600 something companies in it. So, they break you down, and then they're for different sessions. It's over the course of 3 days. And I mentioned, it's people asking questions about what do you do for this? Do you have this problem in your market? We have that problem in our region because of this. So it's just, it's kind of like a structured
information sharing session. Yeah.
And I mentioned LoadProof this time because somebody asked, how do you keep track of what you're shipping? And do you guys take pictures? And I'm like, yes, we have LoadProof.
Okay, nice. Okay, great. Fantastic. So you have any other, request or anything else that we can do for you, in terms of enhancements to the software, providing you additional capabilities that would make your life better?
There's a few technological things that doesn't take away from the information we're getting, but I find it when I navigate the website, not that user friendly. And I mean, it's a couple things. It's I don't know if you've ever noticed. So when you do a search for, and I wish I could share my screen, but I'm on my phone right now.
I can do a follow-up call. I can do a follow-up call with my tech support. So you can share all those, whatever you need help with.
Two things, but I noticed that when you're in pictures for a certain load, that we're taking together, and then there's a button that says go back to previous page. It doesn't actually takes you back to the previous page. It takes you to another page that you've never visited before. And then if you hit the back button in the browser, and let's say there were 10 pictures in that set, well, you have to go back 10 times before you go back to what you all actually wanted.
Okay.
So that's just and then I'm telling you, because I knew we had the call, so I went on it and tried to, not think of things, but I knew you were going to ask, because obviously when you do a review call, that's always a question.
No, that's very important. No, that feed, we got to, if you guys are struggling, see, one very, very important rule that we follow any interface that we design is you got to be able to get to your information within 3 seconds. right? That is very important because, when someone is blaming you guys, right? I mean, especially when, see, I've been to 200 plus warehouses. I've seen, so many problems and solved all those problems in the warehouse. And when someone is, and all these guys run a really, really tight ship, especially in smaller organizations like yourself. They take a lot of pride, in the quality of the work they do. They do a great job, and it's literally, right? I mean, it's a brotherhood. That's what I've seen.
Yeah.
So our important rule is, so when you are running such a tight operation, doing such a great job, when someone is blaming you guys, saying that, hey, you shipped the product wrongly or damaged, product was shipped, then you got to be able to get to that information within 3 seconds, and then show them, hey guys, no, this is how we shipped it, right? So if you're not able to do that, definitely we got to fix it. Yeah.
So that's the main one that I have found just using it's on the website. It's not on the app. I don't myself use the app that much, and I haven't asked, but I haven't heard. I did have an issue yesterday because there was an update on the app.
Yeah.
The update, one of the guys outside, he came to me, he was like, I don't know, it keeps popping up that there's an update. He didn't want to click it, so I installed the update for him. But after I had installed the update, the app would crash every time I was trying to open it. I had to delete the app from the phone and re-download it, and then it worked.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think things like that update. I mean, that could be because of the connection and because of the quality of the connection sometimes, right? It doesn't download the exact right version. Things like that happens. But we'll make sure, we'll at least minimize that. We'll make sure, see how we can address that.
I know the app kept crashing after I downloaded the update, and the update said it was downloaded, and it prompts you it's on an iPhone. So I clicked open.
Yeah.
And then every time I tried to open it, it would bring us to the page to put his PIN.
Yeah.
And then we would put in the PIN, and then the app would just completely shut down.
Crash. Okay, got it. And so you guys use all iPhones, right? iPhones in your organization.
No, they're Androids.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So people who use their phone. So when we get people that have actual phone, like myself, like I have a company phone, the company asks, "Do you want an iPhone or an Android?"
Okay.
And they let the user choose whichever one they're more comfortable with.
Okay, got it.
And then the ones that we had extra laying around that we're using that don't have SIM cards in them right now, like that don't have a phone service.
Yeah.
Those are iPhones, and we had them left over from, I don't even know what we had them left over from, to be honest, but we had like 6 laying around, and we just used them for that. But those are iPhones. But a lot of people do have Androids too.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, see, generally for the enterprise, especially if you are trying to do something that not normally, what a phone wouldn't do, our recommendation is Android, because Apple is great. Yeah. Apple is a great product, and they have a very good everything. But it just from an enterprise perspective, when you have to configure the device, when you have to technically alter the device to fit your for example, you guys might have an MDM, you might have a security layer and things like that, right? When that is needed, Android works better. Android is flexible, so that's why generally you might also see we support Android better than iOS, but we do support iOS. I mean, we do support iOS. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But that's just something that happened yesterday. I mean, I deleted the app and I re-downloaded it from scratch from the App Store, and then it worked fine after.
Exactly. So, usually that takes care of it, because because what happens is when the connection is not great, the download doesn't happen perfectly. Something like that occurs. So that's great. I mean, anything else that you want to share? I'll ask my technical team to reach out to you, email you, and we'll take care of this issue. We'll understand thoroughly and see how we can fix it, so you don't have to keep going back 10 times, right? That is very important. Anything else that you want to share with me?
No, I think that's like the only thing we had that wasn't from the using it perspective.
Okay.
I know when we got it, you guys made the so it's not just vertical, that we can switch them.
Correct. Exactly. So you can see that too now. Yeah.
And then we have click on it and then it expands. It's a couple clicks, but the back is the one that to me is the most annoying.
Okay, all right. So we'll get that addressed. Yeah. So thank you very much for your time, Jade. I mean, this feedback helps a lot. Thank you for the
no problem. Thank you for doing the call with me too.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice rest of the day.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.